On very rare occasions would you hear a leader of President Uhuru's stature, come out and tell people that, what, I am going through ABCD. President Uhuru attended a burial ceremony of his friend. The friend was a banker, and from the information that is out there, he was suffering from cancer, so finally he succumbed to cancer. Did I say cancer? Okay, cancer. So President Uhuru, while eulogizing him in a thinly veiled manner, he revealed the condition he is also battling. So in other words, President Uhuru communicated to Kenyans and the entire world that, what, I am literally battling cancer. So I want you to listen to President Uhuru so that you get to understand that as much as we are people who can't agree on everything, we all go through something. And this admission from President Uhuru goes to inform you that cancer is a menace that the world is dealing with, and we pray that ultimately we can get treatment. I talk about this in a very pensive mood because for me, I've dealt with someone struggling with survival because of cancer. So I know how hard it is, the emotional toll, the psychological toll. But anyway, let me not emotionalize this further, but I would like you to listen to President Uhuru.
Lost a friend, I've lost a colleague, and especially for me don't know whether I should say this, but these are realities of life. In the last year, and a good part of this year, whenever we met, he was very encouraging about some of the challenges that we were going through. And since he had more experience than some of us, he was very encouraging in guiding and telling you how to look at this and how to handle some of these challenges in life, health and otherwise. And I'll miss that counsel, and I'll appreciate everything he guided some of us towards, and how he really held our hand and told us, don't worry, things will come to pass, it will go. We trust in God, we believe. The reason Frank is lying here is because it is his time. Those of us who have those challenges will continue fighting with them, but equally, when it is God's time, we shall join him and be thankful for the life that we lived and the times that we shared together.
Life is fragile, life is unpredictable, and above all, we are all human beings. That today we are healthy, that today we are fighting, we are struggling to create wealth, and in all that, someone is unwell and all that. We are human beings, regardless of our status in society. So in general, my point can be summarized this way: that as a country, let's continue to pray for President Uhuru, wish him good. We understand his journey is long, but there is always a way out of this. People recover. So with our prayers and his treatment, God can always intervene. This also informs you that Kenya as a country has to do something, especially when it comes to treatment of cancer, because we have so many people from where we come from or from our own communities who are battling cancer, and the financial toll on them in most cases is what actually ends their lives, because most families are not in a position to meet the medical bills associated with the cancer. So I also pray and wish that politicians who are opposed to President Uhuru do not go public to start using his situation, for mockery, because it is possible that people can use it for politics. That is true. It is Kenya, and we know how our politics can get. We know how politics can sometimes play out. So you'll find that someone with all senses, using President Uhuru's situation for political expediency. We live in a country where sometimes people are mannerless, but it is our prayer that nobody uses President Uhuru's situation for political expediency.
And as we started engaging, Frank would make sure that all of us were very comfortable. Frank would make sure that things would move in the right direction. And in fact, there was one time, because it was during that COVID period, we weren't really supposed to be meeting. And we were sort of, I don't think, anyway, we were left to sort of sort out the situation, and Frank was wondering, now we're here at State House, it looks like you are fine, but some of us have got to get across town. How will that happen? And I was, well, as far as I'm concerned, once you leave the gate, you're in your own territory, because I remember another friend of mine who we lost, who also tried one time to utilize our friendship. And I'm so glad that even Frank, you've told us he didn't like those issues of, you don't mix work with other things. Because, I reminded Frank, that I had a friend of mine by the name of Kasidai Wayaki, who one day was caught by police having overindulged in his uji and tea. And as he was nabbed by one of those breathalyzer fellows along the road, he had the nerve to call me. And in his state of mind, reminding fellow, you know who I know. He's giving the phone over. So I just sort of like pretended that, hello, I can't hear you, and kind of switched off the phone. Why do I say that? I say that because I recited the story to Frank on that day, and I told him, well, please let us know when everybody is home, and I really hope that you make it in one piece. And sure enough, he did call, but after that they were not so willing to come back to visit me until that period was over.